Yobo, welcome to another episode of In the Life of MightyFan. I know it's been a minute, but back again, and got some pickups here. We're gonna have a little chat. I found a new flavor of Mountain Dew that came out. I think a little earlier this month, so finally got around to finding one of those at my local Wawa. So I'm gonna give you my review on that as I take my first sip of it. And yeah, we're going to have some fun in this video. This should be a little hodgepodge of things. So I know I've been MIA for a few weeks, just been doing some stuff over the house. And things are getting done, but we still have, a little work to get done there in the basement. And it should be done by tomorrow. So looking forward to kind of getting back to some sort of normalcy down there. And, just all sorts of stuff. But that's neither here nor there. Let's get to the pickups here, right? So first and foremost, this was a pre-order from Fanatics that came in the mail yesterday. Pre-ordered this a bit, I guess some months ago. It was after the Eagles won the Super Bowl. This jersey was available prior to the Super Bowl. I didn't get it then. And of course, once the Eagles won the Super Bowl, basically all the Super Bowl jerseys became scarce. So the Fanatics put some more out there for pre-order. And this was one of the ones for pre-order. So I went ahead and pre-ordered that at the time. It came in the mail yesterday. Got the Coop right here. Cooper DeJean, Super Bowl 59 Eagles jersey, replica jersey. He had one of the signature moments of Super Bowl 59 with that pick six of Mr. Mahomes. And really kind of set the Eagles off on what was just a remarkable destruction of the Chiefs in that game, and winning their second Super Bowl in franchise history. Have an opportunity to see the Lombardi Trophy in person next week. I hope to get there at one of the Eagles pro shops in the area, so looking forward to that. But DeJean, 33, there he is, really good rookie season out of Iowa last season. Helped solidify the Eagles secondary. And this is his Super Bowl 59 jersey, replica version, but Super Bowl 59 Cooper DeJean. I nicknamed him the Wooder Boy after his hit on, after his hit and tackle on Mr. King Henry, the Ravens game last year. But there you go. There's Cooper DeJean, Super Bowl 59. Can never have too much Super Bowl championship merch, you. Every time you think you do, no, you don't. And now a lot of that stuff's going on clearance, so I would imagine it's only a matter of time before I add a few more items. This next item I got off eBay really cheap, and it's sort of a new release too. It's a swing, it's a swing man. They did not make this in authentic form, but I wanted to get it because I have quite a few Wilt jerseys. I do have the authentic home version that Mitchell & Ness made many years ago. So they made the road version in swingman form. And here it is. San Francisco, shout out to Bay Area, shout out to Rez. Angel, all those good buddies of mine in the Bay Area holding it down there. Of course, the Warriors got a big win last night to get the series lead, I believe, against Houston, who they seem to own in the playoffs anyhow, so they'll probably beat them again. But anyhow, here's the Wilt Chamberlain San Francisco Warriors, the road version, 1963-64. There's all the particulars right there. Would have been nice if they could have done an authentic in this, but, beggars can't be choosers, as the old saying goes, and I don't mind wearing the swings, so just a big 13 on the back. Of course, they didn't have their names on there back then, but 13. And of course, as we all know, Wilt started his NBA career in Philly, where the Warriors played before moving out to the West Coast. And of course, Wilt joined them there. He was also, of course, a Laker. So he spent a good amount of his career on the West Coast. But he also came back, played with the Sixers, helped the Sixers win a championship in the 60s. But had lots and lots of battles against Mr. Russell there with the Celtics over those years, including with the San Francisco Warriors. But a great rivalry that was between those two incredible players. But yeah, his road San Francisco Warriors jersey, which the Warriors wore kind of a facsimile of, well, actually, to the Philadelphia Warriors. They wore the road jersey, basically their version of the road jersey when Steph got the record at the Garden when he got the three-point record as the all-time three-point shooting king in the NBA. And, of course, this year they went to the home version, but they couldn't put Philly on the front because that would be a conflict of interest for the Sixers, so they put Warriors on the front. So both versions of their Philadelphia Warriors jerseys have Warriors, where, of course, the original version would have had Philly. And of course, when they moved to San Francisco, they just did San Francisco, which I really like. And that's the one Steph Curry jersey I still need is his rookie season when they wore the throwback, turn back the clock night, what a Hardwood Classic night, San Francisco home jerseys, basically that style. And Steph wore it. To date, Mitchell Ness still hasn't made it, and I still have to reach out to True to get it done. But we're going to get there. But it's the one Steph Curry jersey that I still need. How many do I need? I need that one. It's his rookie jersey, season jersey. It's the throwback. I don't even know how Mitchell Ness hasn't made, even in swingman form, how they haven't made that one yet. But it's elusive. It bugs me. But I will get it eventually. If I have to go the True custom route, I'll do it. I mean, I already know True can do it, so that's probably how it's going to get done. And then, of course, the second that I show it in the video, Mitchell Ness will throw it out there. just to task me that much more. Oh, here it is. Where was it all those other years, damn it? Anyhow, we got some more pickups. This, I do have to give a shout out to Pistol. Pistol alerted me to this. So Fanatics was having a sale, and I didn't realize that they had restocked one of these particular jerseys. This one was in my cart for quite a while, and so I got it too. I kind of went with the Pirates theme for this one. So I've wanted this one for a while, and I wanted to get it when it was still available because I wanted to get this guy's rookie jersey, and I know it's his rookie jersey. It's the same jersey he wears this year, but there's a difference. But this was basically his debut game jersey. Not authentic. I'm not paying those crazy Nike authentic prices for it. But this is the replica version of his debut game jersey for the Pirates. So I think we all should know who it is. Right, Mr. Skeens, Mr. Mustache Man. And as much as I was not a fan of the smaller lettering on the back, that's how you will always know that that's his rookie jersey, because that's when they wore the smaller lettering on the back. And I saw it was still available on Fanatics. I guess they reissued, they restocked last year, because I had it on my cart last year and it was gone. Him being the phenom that he is at pitching, you know, they sold out. And then I saw it again. I forget it was late in the season or in the off season. And then, of course, you know, they went back to the bigger letters on the back, the fonts, which it's much better. I mean, they never should have done what they did last season. But that being that, so I still don't know, as I'm opening this with you watching, if this is correctly the version with the smaller lettering on the back, or if this is this year's version. Because there were two versions of this jersey available on Fanatics. This one was slightly cheaper. And in the picture, which, you know, we all know what sometimes you never can tell with stock photos. But the picture, it was a stock photo, but it had the smaller lettering on the back. So again, I'm hoping it's last year's jersey, because this would be his call-up jersey. The home white Pirates jersey. I have love and respect for the Western PA folk out there. Come on. We need sheets out here. I'm telling you, I'm going to go into a talk about Wawa and sheets, and because I have to. I have this whole thing in mind, and but competition is good, in particular with food, with places that sell food. Competition is a good thing. But anyhow, oh yes, it is. So I'm happy about this. So see now. This would be the home Pirates jersey, replica version, but this is from last season. So it does have the smaller lettering on the back, which I know, I don't understand why they put the kid lettering on the back of that. Just never made any sense to me. But they did. But that's when Paul Skeens made his debut. He made his debut in Pittsburgh in the white jersey with the small, teeny beany baby letters on the back. But this would be considered a replica version of his rookie jersey. Rookie season, call-up year, I should say. In baseball, you call it the call-up year jersey. And his first game as a Pirate, he wore the white jersey. And he was pretty dominant from that point on, right? NL Cy Young. He was an NL Cy Young finalist. Didn't win, of course, that went to Sale, but he did start the All-Star game for the NL. Pirate logo on the sleeve. Really nice. Always been a fan of the Pirates font too. No matter what color the jersey is, I just always think that looks good. Got a little Nike jock tag right there, the particulars. But again, I didn't get a lot of these jerseys because the little baby numbers, I didn't, or lettering, I didn't understand that at all. Why they chose to do that, and they knew they made a mistake because right away they corrected it in 1 year's time. But I had to get the Skeens because again, this was his call-up jersey, basically representing his call-up jersey. So I wanted to be historically accurate with that one. So anyhow, because I'm just like that. I'm a stickler for that kind of thing. Like I just am. And this is the jersey thanks to Pistol, because Pistol, I can't even remember a time I've seen him in a non-LA jersey, like an LA team jersey. Every time I see Pistol, and I know that the Raiders are in Vegas now, but he's still obviously a diehard Raider fan, and he loves all the LA teams, and he always wears them. He rocks the LA teams to no end. I can't remember. I can't even think of the last time I saw him showing anything that wasn't LA. So when he told me he was interested in this jersey, I'm like, Pistol, that has nothing to do with LA. He's like, yeah, but he had a big moment in LA. I'm like, oh, okay, well, LA always comes in somewhere. So I guess it makes some sense. It's like me with the Philly teams, but shout out to Pistol. And I didn't realize that they restocked these because I think these were a quick mover for Mitchell and Ness. When these hit last year, they went pretty quick. And sometimes with Mitchell and Ness, like even the new stuff, like when they go. Like they're hard to find, even on other sources for whatever reason. When they sell out, it's like people don't even sell them. It's kind of weird. But so it's a jersey that they made last season, and they corrected it because I have the other versions of this jersey. Now I have all versions of this jersey because I'm crazy like that. So the first time they made this was a USA run. It didn't have the name on the back. Then they made it again with a nameplate. But the problem was they didn't wear a nameplate. So they kind of got that historically incorrect. So this time, years later, they redid it, and they did it historically accurate this time because there is no nameplate on the back. There is a name, it's just not on a nameplate. So we got the 79 Bumblebee Pirates, We Are Family, Willie Stargel. Stargel had a moment with the Phillies too, Pistol. he hit the longest home run in the history of Veterans Stadium. They had a star, they had a logo where he hit that home run many years, of course, when the vet was still around. It had a star with an S on it, and that represented where Willie Stargel hit a home run, which was the longest home run ever hit at the vet, if I remember correct. Howard came kind of close. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm thinking Howard. I think Schmitty may have come a little close. There was a couple guys that came kind of close, but Willie hit the longest in the history of Vet Stadium. And so this is his 79 Pirates, the alternate Bumblebee pinstripe. And as you notice, no nameplate, just the name, the numbers, rather the letters are just stitched onto that back of the jersey. There's no nameplate. So when they reissued this years ago, it had a nameplate. That was incorrect. It shouldn't have had a nameplate. It was nice to see the name on the back, but it just shouldn't have had. I like the nameplate, though. I do. I have it as part of my collection, but this would be the historically accurate. So everyone who says Mitchell & Ness doesn't do historically accurate jerseys anymore, well, they did on this one. They corrected a mistake, for all due respect to Mr. Capolino, that they made back in the day. So, anyhow, 1979, Willie Stargel, and of course the Cooperstown Collection Mitchell & Ness patch on the, or jock tag on the other side. Beautiful jersey, made in Vietnam, size 52 2XL. So I have all versions now. I have the original without the name. I have the other version with the nameplate. Now I have this one without the nameplate. It's the little things. It's a hot jersey too. So I mean, you know, if you're going to have multiples of a certain jersey, this is probably one of the ones to have. And I'm a fan of the 70s Pirates jerseys. I have quite a few. So this goes into that collection too. So Willie Stargel, Pirates, Bumblebee, 1979, correctly done. And see, now Mitchell & Ness has these bags. I didn't realize Fanatics had them in these bags now too. This is a new Mitchell & Ness kind of resealable bags. That's kind of cool. So even if you don't put like jerseys in there, if you have the little tchotchkes or something, you know, it's a nice little keeper bag right there. And I do have one more item to share. Speaking of Mitchell & Ness, because I got this a bit ago. And this is the 2000 All-Star Fireball Phoenix Suns. Jason Kidd, purple. And I did not have an authentic purple Fireball in my collection until I got this one. So, J. Kidd right there, 32 with the All-Star. And these jerseys are finally not new releases anymore by Mitchell & Ness. So when they have sales, you can finally catch these on sale. But these are running, this is a 56, and I had to get a 56. It's the only size left that I could wear. All the 52s were gone, and I had to settle on a 56. But I wanted this because I didn't have a purple Fireball Mitchell & Ness Authentic in my collection. And if I remember correct, which I'm pretty sure all the others I have are either black or white. And, you know, it's just a hot, pardon the pun with this, it's a hot jersey, right? So you got the All-Star logo from 2000, where the teams just wore their regular jerseys, you know, regular team jerseys, no special All-Star jerseys that season. They had a few years where they didn't wear special All-Star jerseys. In a way, I'd kind of like to see them go back to it. I haven't been a huge fan of the recent All-Star jerseys, so I'd kind of like to see the teams just go back to their own jerseys with the All-Star logo. But there you have the date. It says February 13, 2000, Jason Kidd. And they made a few players. They made Shaq. They made Vince Carter. They made, you know, AI and J. Kidd, Tim Duncan, just to name a few. There may have been another one in there somewhere, but those are the guys I'm remembering off the top of my head. But the one I wanted most was J. Kidd. It just pops the most, you know. Maybe a KG. I think they may have done a KG. But there's the Jason Kidd. And this one I had to pay retail. I did a paying for it, but it wasn't going to be on sale, and it wasn't anywhere else. I checked everywhere else. I checked Fanatics. I checked every other site. No one else had it besides Mitchell and my size. So when I got this, I just outright bought it, and I just did the paying for with PayPal for it. Because I like I said, I just wanted it in the collection. But most of the time I do try to catch sales. The one kind of saving grace to me for it was there was a paying for option and with PayPal, and that kind of helped me do it. That kind of made my decision up right there and then. And I'll just go ahead and get it, because I think also when, you know, since Mitchell & Ness has been bought by Fanatics, so their site is very much like Fanatics. So they show you how much of the product there is left. If you go on their sizes, it shows you there's only so many left in that size. And then the J. Kidd, I believe, if I remember correct too, there was only a certain amount left in that size. And I knew there was no 52s. They sold out. This is my only chance, so let me get it. So I got that a little bit back. And I just haven't shared it in any pickup vid, because I really haven't had too much to share aside from that big baseball deal from a few weeks ago. But now I've started getting a couple things in the mail and such, so I figured I'd go ahead and share it for this. I almost forgot about it again. Anyhow, let's move down. Let's move downstairs here. Grab the camera. So again, shout out to Pistol, because he's the one that alerted me. He asked me about the jersey. He asked me about sizing for baseball, because it's a pullover jersey, and the Dodgers never wore pullovers, as my Phillies never wore pullover hands for the batting practice. And I said, yeah, they fit kind of true to size. I mean, my size of choice is 52. That's a 2X. It fits pretty true to size. I think the ones where you have to size up are the batting practice, because just how they're made, just how they fit. Just how they're cut, rather, I should say. That's the word I'm thinking of. And yeah, I size up on those where I can, and you have to, because those run a little short otherwise. And what do I need in here? Okay, I need something to prop the camera up. And I need that new Mountain Dew. So this is like their kind of, I guess, their spring summer flavor. I think they're coming out with another one around Memorial Day or whatever, like the patriotic flavor that they do. I think they're doing a couple of those this year. All right. So this flavor, which I think came out this past week, if I'm not mistaken, here it is. And it is called Baja Cabo Citrus. So it looks like it's a mixture of orange lime, maybe. So that's pretty cool. Tropical citrus punch flavor. And I've done different versions of the tropical citrus punch over the past few years, and they usually come out around this time of year. But some of them, have been okay. Some of them have been pretty good. Kind of wish they lasted a little longer. So we'll see what this one is. TJ Fan, I love you as a brother. You know that. But I'm wearing shorts here, and there's not going to be a Basic Instinct thing on my channel. So I'm going to make sure to prop the camera up so you don't see MightyFan's legs. So see, now I propped it up. Now you're not looking at me from below. You're looking at me from I had. But TJ Fan is one of my very dearest friends, and we get on him about the shorts every now and then. I hope he doesn't take this the wrong way, but no. You're seeing me from here up. But TJ Fan, you do you. Whatever you're happy with is fine. But MightyFan's gonna do me. People don't want to see my pale knees. Oh, I need a drink after that one. So anyhow, let's get into this. I don't want to spill it all over myself. I gotta be careful. So this is my first taste of Mountain Dew's Baja Cabo Citrus. I mean, I'm like one of those wine connoisseurs with Mountain Dew, giving it a little sniff. All right, so let's see how this tastes like. Yeah, I can taste the lime and orange for sure. It's refreshing. It's a good spring summer drink. I mean, it just is, I don't think it's anything new tasting. I've tasted stuff like this before, but a little different with Mountain Dew. So I think, thumbs up on this one for me. What's Slice say with Have a Day with Slice? Get it or leave it or something like that. Get it. Get it. For this one. Yes, there will be no Basic Instinct leg crossing on my videos. There will not be. but I, but no. So um, I had to TJ fan. I had to put that in there. But hey man, you like I said, you keep doing you. You're happy with what you do, and that's fine. You put out great content too. I just I don't wear shorts quite as well as you do, so I'm just gonna go like this. People don't want to see my pale and hairy legs, so I'm gonna keep them covered for the purpose of the purposes of this video. Ah, but anyhow, so anyhow, I mentioned earlier about Wawa, right? So Sheets and Wawa. So Western PA has Sheets. Eastern PA has Wawa, right? Now these stores are like convenience stores. These are like your typical grab and go kind of stores, right? You order the food either there or on the app. You go in, you pick it up, you leave, basically kind of thing, right? It's a communal kind of place. People have conversations like, oh, the Phillies game, that was a rough one, or talk about the Eagles or whatever. It's a place where you kind of, if you go there enough, you kind of get to know kind of the regulars that go there and whatnot. I'm not quite the regular that I know people in there really by name, but people do. Like I said, it's a very communal place. You see a lot of workers going there in the mornings to get their coffee, to get their little breakfasts or whatever. Sometimes midday for lunch and dinner. It's a convenient kind of store. Originated in the Philly area. It's kind of spread out a bit. A little south, a little north, and a little to the west. But they're trying to get into the Sheets areas. And Sheets is very similar to Wawa. Sheets is a very similar concept type of place. Right? Convenient, in and out, kind of grab and go food. You can order stuff. You can just go there, grab stuff, get your coffee, get your drinks, get your new Mountain Dews, whatever, right? Beer, alcohol is sold at some of these places. So it's a convenience store, right? And they're just in and out kind of grab and go kind of places. The problem that I have, and I love Wawa, I'm from the Philly area, so how can I not, right? But I also like competition with some of these places. To me, it's what makes some of the fast food places what they are. They have to keep on top of their game because there's competition. McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, they compete against each other. So you're always going to see them put new things on the menu, and maybe it's limited time, right? But still, they're going to give you options. They're going to, and food-wise, and people can split hairs about whether they really like certain foods here and there. I've kind of found my niche, and I wasn't always a fast food guy, right? I mean, I was a vegetarian most of my life, and then that kind of ended. Kind of abruptly. it just kind of happened. Taco Bell, but and then I just went kind of full bore. I said, all right, well, at first I wasn't eating, beef or burgers. And I started throwing them on the menu too. I said, hey, might as well just go all the way in. I don't eat seafood. I still can't. I don't think I'll ever be a seafood guy. And the reasoning why I just started, I can't really tell you. Just one day, it just like an epiphany, like, I kind of want to experience some of this. Let me do it. With all due respect to family members of mine who are still vegetarian. But, so I don't have quite the experience that some others have with burgers and such. I'm still trying to find my niche. My favorite's still the Whopper. I don't think I've had other things from other places, and nothing has touched. I like a Big Mac, but if I had my choice, if I had to pick between the two, I still take the Whopper over it. Wendy's to me is still third, but for chicken wise, I think Wendy's is still probably first for their just for those three. And I know there's places that specialize in chicken. We know the Chick-fil-A, Popeyes, KFC, all that. So I'm leaving them out of that because that's what they do. Their specialty is that, right? And they're like the big three, really, when you think about it. And there's other brands too. There's other places. in other areas that we just don't have here, such as we don't have. I mean, as much as a hoagie place as the Philly area is, there's no Jimmy John's, there's no Firehouse Subs. There's none of those places here. We have obvious Wawa, obviously. You can get a hoagie at 7-Eleven, but I prefer Wawa over that. Um, you can get them at Royal Farms, but again, Royal Farms is more known for the chicken. So their subs their hoagies there, I should say, are okay, but I would still take a Wawa hoagie over their hoagie, but I would take some of their chicken product over Wawa. I do like Wawa's chicken tenders. For whatever they still I like. Maybe it's just how they're whatever, and they're not known for chicken Wawa. It's just not what they're known for. But I like their chicken tenders. But I do like Royal, and they're known more for chicken and then their Western fries. And I'm a fry guy, so I love my fries. So, but we have Primo's, we have Jersey Mike's, and my favorite place till the end of time will still be Lee's. And it's not a chain place, and it's just overly big chain place as some of these other places are, but it's still my favorite hoagie place. And and I always get the veggie hoagie there, the cheese veggie hoagie, and that will always be my one where I get that will be always the one I get there. Had it since I was very young, grew up on it, and that's still my special spot. I don't go there all the time. Just it's like something I want to do as something special, like a treat kind of thing. But we don't have Jimmy John's, at least in the foreseeable area, and we don't have Firehouse Subs. And I always hear about and I had Jimmy John's before. I had it when we were in. I went up to New York State, I believe, with my dad, and I had a Jimmy John's there. It was really good. And there was a time where I can Grubhub Jimmy John's over. There must have been a Jimmy John's somewhere in the area. And I was able to do that, but then they, I guess, closed. And it's always surprising to me that never became more of a thing here, as much as hoagie-centric as we are in this area. I really liked them. I mean, I was, downtrodden when they were gone because I enjoyed I only had them a few times, but I enjoyed them. Now they're not here. And, we have these other places that just you can't find here that I see commercials for all the time. It's like Sonic. The Sonic closest to me is like almost a half hour away. There's no Sonics here. I want Sonic here. Their drinks are fantastic. But there's no Sonics in this area. There's Red Robin. There's like places that Roy Rogers. There's no Roy's in this area. I think Checkers just came in the area. I know that based off the fact that that's one of the places I can I can order from Uber Eats. But there's places in this, and there's commercials all the time on TV, but they're not here. And why do we have to see these commercials? We can't get it. But anyhow, long story short, it's a long about way, but the thing that I still think is good for those, and they're big nationwide chains, I get that, but they have to compete against each other. So they're always going to throw something out. And if you have the app, they're giving away food left and right. You use those apps. They're just throwing this deal, that deal. You earn points, you get free food. You can just eat. It's cheap eats, I get that. But you can really help your wallet if you just have these apps because they're constantly giving you deals. And they have to because the other places are doing it. So they can't not compete, right? But they're always introducing something new, some limited time. Maybe it's a sauce. Maybe I know McDonald's is going to be doing, I guess it would be a limited time. That's coming out, I think, next month. They're going to be doing chicken tenders. They're going to be doing some wraps. And I like wraps. And I like chicken tenders. So I'm like, McDonald's, all right, well, I'll be happy to get that there, right? It's another option for me to go and to get something because, like to have the same food all the time at one place, it's like, it gets kind of dull after a while. I like having something else on the menu, so, and they have to do that because the other companies are doing that. It's competition. And when you talk about food chains, that's a good thing, in my estimation anyhow. It's the same thing with Wawa. Like, to me, I think it would be best. Because I've heard that while they're trying to get Wawa's more west. There was always, I guess, I don't know if it was like this gentleman's agreement or whatever, that there was some area of the state that had the borderline. And Wawa could not go there and Sheetz could not go here. Like, I don't know why. But that was kind of, this is our area, this is our area. Like the Hatfields and the McCoys, It's like, you can't, no. We can't cross. We can't cross this border. But Wawa's starting to take that first step of trying to get across that border. And I would love for Sheetz to come in this area. And I'm a Wawa guy. I'm a Wawa man, okay? I would still probably go to Wawa more than Sheetz. But I've had Sheetz. I've been to parts of this state that has Sheetz. I've had, there's Sheetz near where Slim lives in Maryland. I've had it. I've liked it. I like the variety there. I like the certain foods that you have there that you don't have at Wawa. Wawa doesn't give the option to. I would be okay, and maybe that's a sacrilegious thing to say as a Philadelphia guy, and I apologize about that in advance, but I'd be okay with Sheetz moving in because that would just up Wawa's game. Like, that's competition. Like, you gotta... Wawa has no competition here. There's no. There's 7-Eleven. That's not really a competition because Wawa trumps 7-Eleven with just where they are. There's a Wawa just on every corner. Just you can't walk a mile without passing a Wawa somewhere. You can't say that with 7-Eleven. So Wawa has them by sheer number, okay? You talk about a place like Royal, which is similar to Wawa. It's grab and go, although you can sit there and eat. No, because Royal specializes in chicken. They know that that's what they have. That's their thing. They're not looking to make burgers. They're not looking to make pizza. They have some other things on the menu. You can do other, but it's chicken. That's their thing. That's what they do. Maybe their competition is like KFC and Popeyes and those kind of places. Although, with Sheetz, it's more like a convenience place. So I still don't put it in the realm of a KFC and a Popeyes and even a Chick-fil-A. It's a completely different thing. But, so they're not really going to compete with Wawa because Wawa started to do some chicken options. But I still don't think that they can really compete with Royal because Royal's just, that's what they've always done is chicken. And for Wawa to just, all right, now we're going to start throwing chicken stuff on the menu, which they started a few years ago, you're still not going to compete with Sheetz for that because that's what they do. They do it 24/7. So their way of preparing chicken is always going to be different than Wawa, So Sheetz, Royal really isn't that competition for Wawa. They make their hoagies, but that's not what they're known for. So when you get a hoagie at Sheetz, they're good. I really like their breakfast burritos because they put those Western fries in them. Ooh. And that's a good meal, okay? So for the breakfast burrito, I think I would take I like Royals slightly over Wawa just because of the Western fry, but that's just me. Wawa still makes a really good breakfast burrito, and I'm still fine with what they do. They make good wraps too. I had a wrap earlier today. So, but Royal's not going to compete with Wawa for hoagies because that's not what their expertise is. So Wawa's always going to trump them with the hoagies, the roll, the preparation, what they put in it. This is what Wawa does. That's what they've always done. This is, they just started adding pizza to the menu a few years ago, but I'm not going to Wawa for pizza. If I want pizza, I want to go to a place that does pizza. I'm going to Pizza Hut, I'm going to Domino's, I'm going to Papa John's because that's their thing, and they're competing against those other places. So you're going to get good pizza from these places, okay? Even the mom and pop places that just specialize in pizza. This is what they do. I'll lean there over them, or even over Sheetz. And I know Sheetz does pizza too. But I'm not looking at a place like that for pizza, I appreciate Wawa added it to their menu. It's just something different. I do like the fact that Wawa adds stuff to their menus. But again, because they're not competing against anyone in the area, it still could be better. And to me, if Sheetz came here and now you had Wawa and Sheetz competing, I just think it would be better. It's already good. I think it could be better. So I don't know. That's just my kind of rant on that. I wish there was more options. I do wish that whatever this thing that they just have that we can't go there and we can't go there would just end and just let Sheets come in this area, let Wawa go there. It's just it's like, dude, it's 2025. We can get over this type of stuff. Now, is there room to put Sheets here? I don't know, because Wawa has every corner occupied. So Sheets would probably have to be a little more spread out, at least at first. But I'd be okay with it. And to me, it's competition. And for food, when there's competition, it just makes it better. It ups their game. You know, and like I said, these fast food places, yes, it's fast food. You know, and certain times of night, maybe you shouldn't be going to some of these areas for fast food. But it's still, because they're in competition with each other, you're still going to get good product. You're still going to get variety. You're still going to get different things pop up. And on the apps, they're going to be giving stuff away left and right because they have to compete with the other company that's doing it, with the other company that's doing it. So that's where the competition's good. And, you know, me being a Wawa goer, I still think they can up their game a little more, just a bit more. And anything with competition that would do it. Look, in sports, there's competition, right? Team's tired of losing to someone, they're going to do something about it, right? They're up their game. They're going to get better. Get players, maybe draft differently or pick differently or whatever. It just makes it, competition makes it what it is, right? We have that at work. We have that in sports. We have it everywhere. In the food game, too. In the food game, a lot, to be honest. Grocery stores compete with each other. Fast food, we know, competes with each other. And places like Wawa probably should be competing with other places. The issue is those places are far away. So there's really not a lot of competition. But if those places came here, there'd be some competition and they would have to up their game a bit. And I'd be for it. And I'm not trying to sound anti-Wawa. I'm not. I go there a lot. I'm a Hokies man, so you know I'm going there. But I still would like to see. I'd like to see them with competition. If it meant Sheets coming into this area and all right, bring on the competition. You know, plus it's variety. You know, I like variety. I really do. I know there's people that are just staunch. This is that's all they're going to do is go to these like 3 or 4 places. I like to look around. I like to find different spots. I like to, all right, I tried it here. Let me try it there. You know, I'm just one of those. Now I am a bit picky. And how you know, Slim can tell you that. And, you know, some other people who know me can tell you that. But, again, I think competition's a good thing. I really is, particularly in the food industry. And I would like to see more competition for Wawa in this area. You know, I just would. But anyhow, I got on my soapbox about that enough. What else has been going on? Well, jersey-wise, we've had some releases by Mitchell. We've had mainly the Swingman variety. We had some Authentics too, I think, come out. If I'm not mistaken. Although it's kind of losing my mind on what new stuff came out authentic wise. Mainly swings. We had some new NBA hit. We had some World All-Star game or something like the World versus the U.S. or whatever it was. All-Star game uniforms come out in Swingman form. I know they made a Joel Embiid, which is kind of interesting. The first ever Joel Embiid jersey they made, it was like a World All-Star jersey over like the rookie Sixer jersey. Yeah, all right. That's what we're doing. But I think they did that with Jokic too, right? I think and I think Greek Freak too. I think they put out like their All-Star or Futures game jerseys before their actual team jerseys. So they put out some of those. There's some other ones out there. I think some other NBA ones. You know, now with the playoffs, you know, they're starting to put out some stuff. So those got done. And I noticed they put out a few new football. They put out some Eagles jerseys, the white jerseys from, I guess, the 04-05 season, the Andy Reid years. It was McNabb, Dawkins, and T.O. All legacy swings, basically, no authentics. But I'm sure they'll get to the authentic, at some point I know they made Dawkins a few times, but, McNabb and T.O., I'm sure maybe by next season or so, they'll probably throw out some authentics for those. And they made a Leroy Selman for the first time, I believe. And it's a legacy, but I think it's kind of cool because it's the creamsicle and it has L. Selman on the back. And Slim's already shaking his head like, I know you're going to get it. Yeah, it's probably going to happen, Slim. It's that kind of thing gets me. I love that letter dot last name. That it's always been something that hits me. So so they finally got around. I know a lot of Buck fans were complaining because they never made a Leroy Selman. So they finally made one. Legacy line, but they finally made one. What else did they put out? They put out some Miami. TJ fan will be happy. They put out some DJ fan. They got the U. They put out oh goodness, Sean Taylor and Reed. U jerseys, the white Miami jerseys. Pretty sharp looking. Now they're their legacy line, their swingman basically. I'd love to see them do authentics in those someday. Miami always had good looking uniforms, so but they added those to their collegiate legacy line. So yeah, Reed and Taylor were your players for those. And news came out that the NFL, I think in 2027, they're going to do like a rivalry series thing. And it's not every team, but they're picking a couple divisions. And they're going to wear a special jersey for those games, I guess when they play each other. Division games. And the Eagles, the NFC East is going to be one of the divisions that get them. I don't know who. I would imagine maybe the AFC North. I would imagine that might be the division they go with in the AFC, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't know how many divisions are getting them. I don't know if it's one per conference or two per conference. It's not every team, but it's going to be, at least we know the NFC East is going to be part of it, and the Eagles are going to have, it's an alternate uniform. I guess they're only going to wear it once or twice a season. But it's going to be a special jersey that they're going to wear, kind of like the Color Rush, when they did the Color Rush. So it's going to be to signify the rivalry game. So I guess think like Eagles, Washington, Eagles, Dallas, Eagles, Giants, that kind of thing. So when they play those teams, I don't know if it will be every time or just maybe the first times or whatever, they're going to wear them. And I guess they'll specify a week where it would be that special rivalry week or whatever, and the teams will play each other in those uniforms. So that's kind of cool. People don't like, all these different uniforms and everything. I'm one of the outliers. I don't mind it if it's done right. If it looks too cartoony and cheesy, If you had time, though, to prepare and to really do it right and make it right, that's the one thing I have an issue with the NBA, with their annual City Connects. Because you can tell the teams that try and the teams that just don't care. And if you gave more time, like if you just allowed like a division to do it once a year, and then the next year, kind of like I think baseball has done it as perfect as you can do it. Because it's not every team wearing the City Connects. It's only a select few teams, and then the next year it's the other teams, but those teams that already wore them wear them again. And they do that for merchandise, but I appreciate that. Because if it's a real popular design, they sell out right away, and you never can find them. And the secondary markets that people have, and they want an arm and a leg for them. So I'm glad that at least then the next season they come back out, they restock, and even in the off season, because they're going to wear them again. I think that's the right formula. And I think some of these leagues are doing it wrong. I think the NBA does it wrong. Do I mind terribly seeing a new uniform every year? Not as much. But to the point where you have teams that are very lazy with it, kind of do the same thing in a different color. I didn't mind it for the Sixers because I love the Spectrum jersey, the Spectrum themed jersey. I really wish that they could just wear it as a statement jersey. You know, even if they wore a red statement with the Spectrum down the Spectrum kind of theme with that font, and make that their red jersey, the statement jersey, I would love that. Because look, the Sixers were horrible this year. The only good thing about the Sixers this year was the uniform. Was that when they did those those City Edition nights, and they had the Spectrum logo on the court, and they wore those white with they're the best. And I know I'm biased because I'm a Sixer fan. God help me, but I am. But I love that uniform. I loved it when they wore it in the navy blue. I love it when they wore it in the white. If they made a red one as a statement, I'd be for it. But then you have these other teams that do it. I know the Nets did it for a while. That one artistic jersey, they made it in one color, and they made it again in another. The Heat culture thing. Yeah, does it go with the team? Sure, but it's just laziness. You're all right. We're bringing it back in another color. Like, okay, well, maybe you could do something else. Maybe there's something else about the city that you can incorporate in your jersey. I mean, it's called the City Edition, but But I like what the MLB is doing. And does every team hit? No. Some teams still take the lazy way out. But some teams are real creative with it. I've liked both Houston jerseys. I've liked both Washington jerseys. Yeah, I like the 1.0 better, but I think both, you can say, all right, well, it's still a nice looking jersey, the 2.0s. The Rockies, the 1.0 will never be beaten with the Mountain, but the second one, it's different. It isn't for everybody. But it does have like a mountainy theme to it. I like it. I wish the hat was two-tone. The only saving grace to me about the hat is that they put the alternate logo on it with like the state of Colorado C in the mountains. If they would have done the CR, the regular logo on the hat for that, no. Just a tonal with that, no. I like the fact that they thought outside the box. At least they did a different logo for the hat. And a nice logo. And it goes with the jersey. It matches. It goes with the flow. It's a good combo wombo. But with that jersey, I still would have done a two-tone hat. Because that jersey is such a colorful jersey, and they just went with the tonal hat. If there was any jersey that deserves a two-tone hat, it's that one. And they went tonal. Even a front panel, like they did with the original 1.0, the front panel, the white front panel, that would have been cool, But it is what it is. It still looks good. They look good together. And again, if they just would have gone with the CR, that would have been no fuego. That would not have been good. So it would have been too much like what the Padres did. It's like lazy, man. It's like, you did this colorful jersey and you give us a tonal hat with the SD. Like, come on. And again, if any uniform deserved the pinwheel hat, it was that Padres jersey, and they just went tonal with the SD. I hate that hat is still of all the city Connect uniforms, that Padres hat's the one that's my least favorite of all. Because it could have been much better. Could have been much better. And I kind of feel that way about the 2.0 with the Rockies, but I'll let it slide because at least they went with a different logo with the mountain on the logo. So it goes with the flow. Like I said, it goes with the uniform. I still would have gone two-tone though. I would have. Because again, colorful jersey and you kind of go tonal with the hat. Yeah, I would have gone two-tone with that hat. I just would have. But that's just nitpicky and that's just me. But I like how the MLB does it. And I like the fact that the teams wear that jersey for a few years until everyone's got them. And now they're starting to roll out 2.0s. And I don't know if there'll be a 3.0, but if they do that, okay. I think they are handling it right. I kind of hope, the NHL does another version of the reverse retros. I really liked it. And the problem, though, is that every team wore them. And for merchandise reasons, and it was a 1-year one-off. And for merchandise reasons, that was a problem because some of those jerseys were so popular and they sold out so quick, and you just never had a chance. And because they're only wearing them for that one season, if they don't restock them, you're not going to get them unless you find them somewhere on the secondary market. And if it's a real popular jersey, like for instance, the Florida Panthers, the 2.0 when they did that with the palm tree, you know, the stick logo on the front, you know, that colorful jersey that they wore. You can't find it now. And if you ever find it, the seller, they know it's rare. They know it's hard to get, so they always want big money. You know, that would be see how the MLB how the MLB does their City Connects. I would hope if the NHL brings back and if whatever they call it, it doesn't even have to be reverse retro. It can be whatever Fanatics decides they want to call it. I would hope they go that route, where it's not every team wears, and it's 1 year and that's it. Maybe you pick a division in the Eastern and a division in the Western Conference, and they all get them. And then the next year, the others get them, and the other two can still wear them the next year. Because that way, then, you know, now you're helping the problem to lessen the problem of them being sold out and you can't get them again because they'll restock them because they're going to wear them again the next season. You know, and I would allow for those teams that wore them the second year to continue wearing them into the following season. And again, that will help for merchandise too. So those teams would wear them basically for 3 years. You know, the first group would wear them for 3 years. The second group would wear them for 2 years. But that way, then you could still get the product. You don't have to worry. Oh, it's gone and now it's over with. Unless a team decides to do what the Capitals did and bring back the reverse retro as an alternate jersey for their 40th anniversary this year. They brought back the Black Screaming Eagle jersey, which was a nice move by them. Gave people another chance to get them. Now, I already got it back when they originally brought it out, so I didn't need to get it now. But for people who missed out, you know, it gave them another chance to get it. And that was a smart move by the Caps. And I kind of wish other teams do it. I almost wish that teams would have the opportunity, like if it was a real hot seller or a real good-looking jersey like the Panther 2.0 or the Avalanche when they did, I think it was the 1.0, if I'm not mistaken, when they did the homage to the Quebec Nordiques, but they put in Avalanche colors. Super cool. I never got the jersey because they sold out like they were gone because nostalgia. Everyone loved them because it was the old logo. It was the first time the Avalanche wore a Quebec logo since they moved from Quebec. So there was a lot of people in the fields, and that jersey that was gone, and when it was gone, it was gone. And if you see it today, there's a lot of fakes of it out there. If you see an actual one out there, because they know how rare it is. So I would love, and I know they were Adidas jerseys, but the fact that Fanatics allowed the Capitals to go back to an Adidas design, to a special jersey that was an Adidas design for the Black Screaming Eagle, gives me hope. Because I would love to see some of these other teams have the opportunity to do that with some of their older reverse retro jerseys that were just real popular. Like the Avalanche can bring back those old Quebec Avalanche colorway jerseys. The Panthers can bring back those other jerseys that you can't find anymore. Just naming a couple. And there's some others in there too that were just super popular. So everyone loved them. People search through the ends of the earth to try to find them today. It would be nice for these teams to kind of bring them back, to kind of give us a chance for retail-wise, for Fanatics to get them back in, NHL Shop, Cool Hockey, what have you, to get them in so people have like a second chance at them. I would love to see that. So time will tell on that. But if the NHL did something like the reverse retro deal, I would hope they handle it a little different. Will they? Probably not. They'll probably just have every team do it. And it'll be a 1-year thing, and that's it. And then the collectors are going to go crazy. But, because I think the model that the MLB did with their City Connect jerseys, with that whole deal, is the right model, is the right approach. Because it's the long game. You're allowing these teams to wear these uniforms for a number of years, but you're also allowing the consumers like me to get them if I missed out on them, like that Washington 1.0. I didn't get the initial year. I got the hat. I couldn't get the jersey. But because they brought it back the next year, they put it back out on Fanatics, and that's when I got it. Now I got Strasburg, and he never wore the jersey, but I still got one. In my mind, I got one. So I was happy. But that's a model that I hope other leagues, including the NBA, would do. Now they won't do it because the NBA is so money hungry, and they're just so focused on that. They'll just throw it all out in the same year, and that's it. I think with hockey though, you can wait, and I think it's the long game with them too, and I think that they would be okay with that, to be honest. And I think football's handling this right too with this rivalry thing because they're not doing it with every team. They're going to pick a couple divisions. Now, I don't know if then it's going to be like the City Connects where they were at the next season and the next, and maybe they will. I kind of hope they do it that way because I enjoy the City Connect stuff. I mean, you see I'm wearing the shirt. I like the fact that it's not just a one-year one-off and that's it. I like the fact that it's for a few years and then they introduce a 2.0 and then it becomes something else. But I like the fact that, okay, you're wearing something different, but you're not just wearing it 1 year. You're going to wear it another year until all the teams are caught up, and now you bring the 2.0s, and then, like I said, who knows where it goes from there. But I like the fact that you still have something on the field it's not just a one-off, it's worn, you wear it again and again, and then you move on from there. I think it's the right approach. And it seems the NFL's doing it, and I would hope that the NBA and the NHL follow suit. Now, will they? I don't know. I don't think the NBA will. I just don't. That's just who they are. But hockey I could see. I can kind of see them doing it. But then again, they just brought out the Four Nations, and that's a one-off. Every year they do the Stadium Series and the Winter Classic. Those are one-offs. Now, some teams adopted those jerseys as an alternate. The Flyers did it. Other teams have done it. The Wild did it. Other teams have done it, and rightfully so. The Wild actually did it with a reverse retro. And like I said, it works for them. The Black Screaming Eagle works for the Capitals, and I'm glad they brought it back. Even if it's just for 1 year to celebrate their 50th anniversary. I think it said 40th before their 50th anniversary. It's the right approach. And like I said, I hope that the Avalanche do it. I hope that the Panthers do it. I hope that some of the other teams do it. Now, are they looking at it as, well, these jerseys sold out too quick before? Probably not. But they know it's a popular look. People enjoyed that look. People enjoyed getting those jerseys. You still see them in the stadiums quite often. I can't look at a Panther game and not see someone wearing one of those reverse retro jerseys in the crowd. I wish I got one. I just was too slow on the trigger to get one, and now they're all gone, and it's like near impossible to find. So I would love a second chance at it. I would love a second chance at it. I mean, I'm an Avalanche fan. That's my Western team, so I didn't move quick enough on the Quebec, homage jerseys. I would love another chance at it. I'd love to wear a McKinnon or a Makar in that, I mean, for sure. But they got to make them again. They got to wear them again, Maybe I find one, at some point. I mean, you never say never. I was able to get a 1.0 for a team. I'm going to have, later in the week, I'm going to have an Into Life Iced video. I was able to get a 1.0 from the reverse retro for a team that was very hard to get. The jersey sold out quick. It was a homage to an older jersey of theirs, and it was a big seller. It not only was it hard to find, but real hard to find in my size. And I recently had an opportunity at one that almost got away from me. But that FOMO hit me. and it was on Macari. And when you put something in your watch list on Macari, most of, everything on Macari you can make an offer, right? If you don't know Macari, it's like a eBay Lite, I would say. It's like a Poshmark, Macari, Poshmark, OfferUp. They're all like eBay Lite, eBay is eBay. Nothing touches eBay, but it's like a eBay Lite, But there's a lot of stuff on there, and every single item you can make an offer. Now, it's up to the seller to decide whether they want to take the offer, counter the offer, whatever. So, but what I'm trying to get at here is if you put something in your watch list, or you like it, or whatever it is, whatever that list, my like list, or whatever it is, someone makes an offer on it, you get the alert. Whoop, your item on your watch list has just received an offer. So what happened was, I think I put this in my like list. I saw it on Friday evening, and on Saturday morning. Oh no, I'm sorry. Thursday evening, and Friday morning I got an alert that this item just got an offer. And I'm like, oh crap, and I really wasn't. I wasn't looking at getting it right away, and it was a hard to find jersey, and in my size even harder to find. And but I panicked. That FOMO hit me, and I'm like, no, this isn't getting away from me. So I think about maybe a couple months ago, it wasn't always like this, but Macari now accepts the PayPal Pay in 4 option. They didn't before. It used to be it was just strict PayPal. You couldn't even choose the Pay in 4. It was just you choose PayPal, and it just does it straight through PayPal. It's done. It's whatever your preferred method of payment on PayPal. That's what it would charge you. You couldn't even go in and pick how you want it to charge. But I think a few months ago they started expanding it, so now you can do the Pay in 4 option, and there's also Zip. And Zip is a separate thing than PayPal, but it's strictly Pay in 4, or even Pay in 8 if you have a debit card, which I don't. And but Zip's credit line is less than the Pay in 4 line. Like I think the Pay in 4 line I have is like $1,500, and the Zip is $400. And I think they just expanded it I think it was even less than that before. And I've only used Zip a handful of times. But Pay in 4, I think I have that. It's like a $1,500 limit. No, the jersey didn't cost $1,500, but that's your limit. And you can put multiple things on there. You just can't go over $1,500 total for everything that you put on there for Pay in 4. But you gotta be careful. If Pay in 4 can get you sometimes. You have too many things going on in Pay in 4s. So I knew that Pay in 4 for PayPal. Was an option with Macari, and I was not going to lose this jersey. It wasn't going to happen because I didn't know when the next time I would see it again in my size. Maybe I would see it every other time I seem to see it. It's a large. Finally it came up in a 2X, and I'm like, it's either in Adidas terms. So their sizing is like 52. Is like it's like a large. 54 is an XL, which I can get away with, but I prefer 56, just because of the fit. And this jersey wasn't a 56. It was reverse retro 1.0 for this team, and you'll see it later in the week. And it was a size 56. That's my size, my perfect size for those jerseys. So, I tried willpower not getting it as soon as I saw it. I put it in my like list, but once that thing came up that you got an offer, it's got an offer. I said, no, it doesn't. And I was doing the fumble fingers too. I was trying to where's the buy it now, damn it? Where's the buy it now? And I hit the buy it now, and then I had to remember to go to the Pay in 4. And then once you get into PayPal, then you have to make sure it's in the Pay in 4 too, because I made that mistake once. I wanted to do a Pay in 4. And it was a Macari item, and I hit that as an option on Macari. But what happens is if you hit it as an option on Macari, when it takes you to PayPal, it's not automatically to the Pay in 4, which it kind of should be, but it isn't. And you have to remember to hit the Pay in 4 as the option. And I didn't the last time, and I said, oh, damn. I wanted to do the Pay in 4. No, that didn't happen. But this time I remembered, even though I was in a panic, to hit the Pay in 4 option in PayPal, and then it went right through. And what happened was I got the item, and it came quick. Like I got this thing on Friday, it came today, FedEx. Today's Sunday, which was nuts to me. And it was coming from the Midwest, too. I'm like, there's no way this thing's coming on Sunday. And yeah, I got the alert Sunday morning. Your package has been delivered. I'm like, ooh. So, but there was a little note in there. Because the guy tried to leave me a note. I was having a little back and forth conversation with the seller. And he tried to leave me a note, but you can't leave email addresses. Otherwise, Macari, as anything, like eBay would do it too, they delete the message because you're really not supposed to do that. So the seller tried to put an email address in there, and I got this note with the jersey, and on the note it was a handwritten note. He said, "Thanks for the purchase. I tried to leave a note for you on Macari, but Macari deleted it. That the person who left an offer, who made an offer for me, wanted me to reach out to you to say if you do want to move it, here's his email address, and he'll give you a nice deal for it." And in the back of my mind, I'm going, well, these guys don't know me very well, do they? Slim's probably sitting there going, nope. No chance in hell that's going to happen. Right? I don't sell. So once I get it, once it's in the Mighty Kingdom, it stays in the Mighty Kingdom. That's the way it is, right? For me, I'm not a seller. I've only traded a handful of times, and I don't have any plans on doing that anytime soon. Again, I don't sell. So once it comes here, I'm sorry to break hearts, it stays here. That's how it is for me. So A, okay, that's not going to happen. But B, I'm thinking, and I always remember this, and rest in peace to Ron. Ron was such a wise man. When in he could have written a book about collecting. Honestly, God. And he said, and I always will remember some of the things he said. He said once, if you see a jersey and it means that much to you, and you're trying to save $20, it doesn't mean that much to you. Why are you trying to save $20? Just buy the damn thing, right? He said anyone who, if you want something bad enough, you pay. That's just how it is. Or you don't want it bad enough, right? Basically along those lines. It might not be word for word how he put it, but basically that was his spiel. That if you want something, why are you trying to haggle? Why are you trying to look to save $20, $30? Buy the thing, you know. So this guy who made the offer, now apparently he said, if I'm willing to sell it, let him know, and he'll give me a good... But what you could have done was buy it instead of making an offer. You allowed someone else to come in there and grab it, you know, and I just wasn't going to do that. I wasn't going to let it get away, you know. Now, do I always do that? No. I mean, a lot of times, particularly on Macari, I'll make offers because, you know, you're trying to save a few bucks here and there. But if there's something on there that just I have to have, I'm not going to waste time with the offers because A, it might take a little bit for the seller to get back to me. B, if other people have it on their list, they're going to see that little note that, oh, this item just got an offer. They're going to buy it if they're like me, right? If this meant that much to them, they're not going to let it sit. So if it's something I just really want to have, and it was something like this jersey hit the site like that day. Like it hit Macari Thursday. And that's the first time I saw it. So I know it was a new item up there. It hasn't been sitting there for a long time. I have items in my like list on there that has been there for over a year. They've been there for like 2 years. They're still on my list, you know? Same with eBay. Same with any of these sites. My like list or love list or whatever the list, whatever the watch list, whatever they call those lists where you can save items. There's so much stuff on there. And a lot of times I put stuff on there just to remind me about it, you know, because I'll forget. You know, hats, jerseys, I'll forget about the damn thing. Then I see it on the list, and oh yeah, there's that. Yeah, I'll get back to it. But it's there, you know. It's the same thing with Macari. I mean, I've had stuff on there for a long time. This was a brand new item. As far as brand new to Macari, I knew it was new. And it wasn't like one of these things that's been there for a while. If I make an offer on it, right? If it's something that's been sitting there for a long time and make an offer, there's still a chance that, you know, you're going to be able to, you know, get the item because if it's been sitting on there, even if other people are watching it, well, they've been watching it as long as I've been watching it. No one's making a move. So is less of a chance of someone getting that FOMO and, oh, I'm going to lose this. I've lost a lot of stuff on there. I have stuff on the watch list and I get those alerts, and it's like, okay, well, I mean, it's been sitting there for years. I'm not moving on it right now. I can't move on it right now. I'll let it go. But this was one thing I knew I couldn't let go because of the rarity, and not just the rarity of the jersey, the rarity in its size. My perfect size of 56 for an Adidas hockey jersey. I knew I couldn't let go. That guy that made the offer, it's on him. And if the guy ever watches this video, if the seller ever watches this video, hey, shout out to both of you and respect, but no, the jersey's in my possession. It's not leaving. It's something I've looked for years. I was happy to find it. I wasn't gonna let it go. So I paid the price for it. I did the paying for it to help, but I paid. I wasn't gonna make an offer. That someone else did. I didn't. And at the end of the day, it's sitting in my collection now because I didn't make an offer. I took action. And I'm not saying that to sound a certain way. I'm not saying that to make the other person who made the offer look bad. But I'm saying that as just someone who, when I saw that note, and in the note it was listed that, oh, well, he said that if you want to move it, let him know. He'll make it worth the while, thing. Well, okay, well, if you're willing to pay more for it, why not just buy it instead of trying to save some money and do a best offer? Obviously you didn't want it bad enough. I did. So, so to that person I say, sorry, no. You can double the offer that I paid for it. It's not moving. You can triple the offer for it. It's not moving. It just isn't. It's in my collection. It's one I've wanted. It's not moving. It stays in the Mighty Kingdom. That's where it is. It's going to be on that rack. I'll wear it from time to time. It's not going anywhere. So that's just one of those things. And again, I'm not saying that to put myself on a pedestal, right? I've been doing this for over 20 years. I know the game. Believe me. And I go by that what Ron said. I go by that. If you want something bad enough and you have to pay a little more, you pay a little more. You buy it. You get it. And then you don't have to worry about getting it down the road. Right? If you want it bad enough, sometimes you just have to pay the price for it. And the good thing is we have things like paying for options where you can spread it out a bit. And that helps too. Because at the end of the day, though, I have it. I'm happy. Sorry for the person who missed out on it, who made an offer. But again, it's what Ron said years ago. If you want something bad enough, you buy it. And you pay. You pay the price. Otherwise, how bad did you really want it? And that's basically the end of that. Anyhow, I've rambled here for quite a while. We had some things to show. How long is this video? Oh my, an hour and 18 minutes. Whew. Went pretty long-winded on this one. But I had a couple things to talk about, right? We talked about food. We talked about this new flavor of Mountain Dew, the Baja Cabo Citrus. I'm never going to say that right. I like it. If you're a Dewsman like me, you'll like it too. Good job, good on Mountain Dew. I've tried to cut back. I'm like drinking that, right? I've tried to cut back on my soda consumption. I'm trying to do a little better. Here I was talking about fast food and all that. But I am. I'm trying to do a little better, particularly with the soda. Because I used to drink the soda. I used to drink the thing like water. It was, you can tell. I just, it was too much. And I've tried to cut back on it, but Mountain Dew is still such a, it's a vice for me. So I don't drink as much. But whenever they put out a new flavor, at least I want to try it. I definitely want to try it. And I think they hit this one out of the park. I really like this one. This is probably one of my favorite citrusy, spring, summery flavors that they've done in a while. Maybe part of it is because I like orange and lime. I like that combination, that combo wombo together. So, this is the first time they've done this. And they had a drink somewhat similar to this. That was their orange that you can only buy at like Wawa or something like that, or convenience stores. And this is like they took that and they put some lime into it, which is really good. Which is really good. So definitely recommend it. And so there you go. Anyhow, that's going to do it. An hour 20 minutes. I tell you this, but I haven't made a vid here in a little bit. I know I did. Goodness, what was my last vid? Was it the going to the Phillies game, the vehicle vlog? I kind of forget, but it's been a minute, so I wanted to get on here and show some new pickups and talk. That's usually what I do. So, what's new about that? But I do have another vid coming out later in the week. It will be the End of Life Iced with some hockey, so including the jersey that I beat that one guy to. MightyFan's vicious. He don't mess around. Anyhow, what do you always have to do? You have to leave those likes, like. You have to make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Still looking to get the 2K subs, and also make sure that you hit the bell icon so you're notified to all future content from yours truly, including that next vid, the End of Life Iced vid, coming out a bit later in the week, maybe within the next couple days. We'll see. But anyhow, that's going to do it for now. Thanks for watching. Big shout out to all my buddies out there and to all my subs. I appreciate all of you. You all have a great one. I'll see you again soon. All right. See, no knees. You didn't see my knees. Shout out to TJ Fan again. All right, everyone, take care. Bye.